The morning the world seemed to fall apart for 12-year-old Liam Carter began like any other. A pale winter sun filtered through the kitchen window, catching dust motes in the air as if they were tiny floating galaxies. Liam sat at the wooden table, fingers curled around a lukewarm mug of cocoa his mother had made for him. She had always added extra marshmallows for courage, she said, but this time, even the sweetness couldn't quiet the worry twisting his stomach. The school bus honked outside. He didn't move. For weeks, his classmates had whispered about his speech therapy, the quiet stutter that sometimes caught his words like thorns, the way he sat alone during lunch pretending not to notice the laughter directed his way. But last Friday had been the worst. One boy recorded him trying to read aloud in class, stumbling over syllables, and posted it online. By evening it had spread around the school, then the neighboring one, then the entire town. He hadn't slept properly since. His mother touched his shoulder gently. "You don't have to be brave all at once," she said softly. "Just be brave for the next minute." Her words didn't fix everything, but they steadied him. Liam stood, grabbed his backpack, and stepped outside into the crisp air. Every breath felt like cold glass filling his lungs. Still, he walked toward the bus. Across the street, an elderly neighbor, Mr. Dawson, was awkwardly trying to lift a wooden crate from his porch. His hands trembled, and he winced with each attempt. Without thinking, Liam rushed over. "Let me help," he said quietly. Mr. Dawson blinked in surprise. "Oh, Liam, are you sure? This thing's heavier than it looks." Liam nodded, lifting the crate with both hands. It wasn't easy, but he managed to carry it inside the man's house. When he set it on the kitchen counter, Mr. Dawson smiled with genuine relief. "You have no idea how much that means to me. These old bones aren't what they used to be." Liam shrugged. "It's okay." But Mr. Dawson shook his head. "No, son, it's not just okay, it's kindness. And kindness is a strength most people underestimate." Liam felt a small warmth bloom somewhere in his chest, a warmth he hadn't felt in days. As he stepped back outside, he realized he had missed the bus. He stood on the sidewalk, unsure whether to be relieved or defeated. But then something unexpected happened. A car pulled up beside him. The window rolled down. It was his classmate, Maya, one of the smartest kids in school. Always confident, always smiling. But today, her smile looked different. Softer. "Hey," she said. "I saw you helping Mr. Dawson. That was really nice of you." Liam looked at the ground. He needed help. "I know. Most people would have pretended not to see." She paused. "Want a ride? My mom's driving me anyway." He hesitated for a moment, then nodded and climbed into the back seat. As the car drove toward school, Maya turned to him. "Listen," she said quietly, "about what happened online. I reported it. A few others did too. It wasn't right." Liam felt his chest tightened, part embarrassment, part gratitude. The video had humiliated him. It had felt like the world was laughing while he was drowning. Hearing someone stand up for him felt like a rope being thrown into the water. "Thanks," he whispered. Before they reached school, Maya's mom spoke gently from the front seat. "You're stronger than you think, Liam. Anybody can laugh, but not everyone can rise above cruelty." He didn't know how to respond, so he simply nodded. As he entered the school building, the usual nod of fear twisted inside him. Whispers floated from corners, a few snickers. The familiar feeling of wanting to disappear crawled up his spine. But then something shifted, so small at first, he almost missed it. Maya walked beside him without hesitation. A few other students glanced at them curiously. One boy muttered something under his breath, but this time Maya shot him a glare sharp enough to silence him. It didn't make the fear vanish, but something within Liam felt steadier, like a single candle lit inside a dark room during lunch. Instead of hiding in the library, Liam sat at an empty table. Moments later, a shadow fell over him. It was Jack, the same boy who had posted the video. Liam's heart thudded painfully. Jack's expression was unreadable, but his hands fidgeted. Can I talk to you?" Liam didn't move. Jack cleared his throat. "Look what I did. It was messed up. My dad saw the video after the school called him this morning. He made me delete it, but..." He swallowed hard. "You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry." Liam didn't know what to say. His instinct screamed to walk away, but he looked at Jack, looked and realized something surprising. Jack was scared, too scared of being wrong, scared of admitting it. And in that moment, Liam understood something powerful. Hurting others didn't make Jack strong. Admitting fault did. "I forgive you," Liam said quietly. The words weren't easy. They weren't even comfortable, but they felt right. Jack blinked in shock. "Really?" "Yes." For the first time in weeks, Liam felt like he wasn't drowning. That afternoon, the guidance counselor called Liam into her office. She had seen the video, spoken to teachers, and started a school-wide conversation about bullying, empathy, and compassion. But she didn't start with lectures. Instead, she handed him a small notebook. "This is for you," she said. "Write whatever you want. Your thoughts, your fears, your hopes. Sometimes the strongest voices start on the quietest pages." Liam ran his fingers over the cover. It wasn't fancy, just lined paper and a soft blue exterior, but something about it felt like a doorway. "Thank you," he whispered. Over the next few weeks, things didn't become perfect, far from it. Some kids still whispered, some comments still hurt. But every morning, Liam helped Mr. Dawson with something, bringing in mail, carrying groceries, adjusting the uneven porch steps. And every day, Mr. Dawson shared a story from his life, stories of loss, resilience, and the quiet power of never giving up. One day, the old man said something Liam would carry forever. "Strength isn't loud, my boy. It isn't fists or shouting or being the biggest in the room. Strength is rising every time life tries to push you down, and choosing kindness even when the world is unkind." Those words shaped him. At school, Maya often sat with him, and slowly, a few others joined. Liam wasn't suddenly popular. He didn't need to be. What he needed was something far more valuable: acceptance. But the real turning point came during the spring talent showcase. Students auditioned for singing, dancing, comedy, and storytelling. Liam didn't sign up. He couldn't imagine speaking in front of a crowd. But Maya did something unexpected. She signed them both up for a storytelling duet. When he found out, he almost backed out. But she smiled and said, "Don't worry. You'll speak only a few lines. I'll do the rest. I just want you to be there with me." That night, he opened the blue notebook and wrote one sentence: "Maybe I can rise." And so he tried. On the night of the showcase, the auditorium lights glowed warm and golden. Parents filled the seats. The murmurs of excitement vibrated in the air. Liam's hands shook. His heart pounded so loud he was sure the whole room could hear it. But when he stepped on stage beside Maya, the fear didn't swallow him. Instead, it stood beside him, still heavy, still real, but no longer stronger than he was. Their story was about overcoming fears, about friendship, about finding courage in unexpected places. When it came time for Liam to speak his lines, he took a slow breath and read from his notebook. He stuttered once, then again, but he kept going. The audience didn't laugh. They leaned in. When he finished, the room erupted into applause, genuine, full, and warm. Some people even stood. Liam didn't cry, but only because he had run out of tears earlier that day from sheer terror. What he felt now was something different, something bigger: pride, relief, strength. After the show, dozens of students congratulated him. Some apologized for past behavior. Others simply smiled. Jack approached him too, not with guilt this time, but with admiration. "You did good, man," he said. "Really good." Liam nodded. "Thanks." As Liam walked outside into the cool night air, he saw Mr. Dawson waiting for him, leaning on his cane. The old man's eyes shimmered with pride. "You rose today, Liam," he said softly. "And you'll rise again tomorrow. That's what unstoppable strength looks like." Liam didn't reply. Instead, he stepped forward and hugged him. The kind of hug that said, "Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." For the first time in a long time, Liam felt something powerful settle inside him. Not confidence, exactly, but something sturdier, hope. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the loudest. His voice wasn't perfect. But he had a heart that refused to give up, and he had learned a truth he would carry his entire life. Strength isn't about never falling. Strength is about rising every single time. As he walked home with his mother, the night sky stretched above them, speckled with stars. Liam looked up and felt something he'd once believed he'd never feel again. He felt like one of them, bright, steady, rising. Spring slowly warmed into early summer, painting the town of Willowbrook in shades of soft green and gold. For most kids, it meant excitement, endless days outside, and freedom from school. For Liam, it meant something else: a chance to start becoming the person he once believed he could never be. After the talent showcase, something subtle but powerful shifted inside him. His stutter still appeared, especially when he was nervous, but he no longer shrank away from speaking. He no longer avoided eye contact. He no longer walked through school hallways with his head tucked down, as if bracing for impact. He walked a little taller, a little steadier, a little more like the boy he wanted to be. One afternoon, while heading home, he saw a group of younger students struggling near the bike racks. A small boy had dropped his books, and a few pages were blowing across the pavement. Kids walked past, too busy or distracted to notice. Liam didn't think twice, he ran over, scooping up the papers before the wind grabbed them. "Here," he said softly, returning the stack. The younger boy looked up at him, wide-eyed. "Thank you. People always just walk by." "I used to feel invisible too," Liam whispered. "But you're not." The boy smiled, shy but grateful. "What's your name?" "Liam. I'm Noah. You're really nice." It wasn't a big moment. Not dramatic or loud. But something about it planted a seed in Liam, an understanding that maybe his struggles had given him something special. Empathy. Someone who has struggled knows how to see others who struggle. The next day, Maya approached him at lunch with a flyer in her hands. "Liam, they're starting a student volunteer program at the community center, helping younger kids with reading, art, activities. I think you'd be great at it." "Me?" Liam's voice cracked with surprise. "I don't know. You still what?" She interrupted gently. "You still care more than most people. You still understand how it feels to need help. That's exactly why they need someone like you." Her confidence in him was something Liam was still learning to grow into. But that evening, he walked to the community center with the flyer in his pocket. Inside, children of different ages ran around laughing, drawing, building puzzles. And there at the far table was Noah, the boy he had helped the day before. When Noah saw him, his face lit up. "You came." Liam sat beside him, helping him with a puzzle, noticing how Noah hesitated before asking for help. The same way Liam used to. Each time the boy struggled, Liam gently guided him to try again, reminding him that mistakes weren't failures, but steps forward. Week after week, Liam returned, not because he felt obligated, but because something inside him was coming to life, a purpose he hadn't known he needed. His mother noticed the change too. She watched as her son, once so withdrawn and quiet, now spoke more confidently, helped around the house, and even laughed more freely. One evening while they were cleaning up dinner, she touched his arm. "You're turning into someone truly incredible, Liam." He blushed. "I'm just trying." She shook her head. "No, you're rising." The words hit him softly, like sunlight, warming cold skin. But life has a way of testing those who begin to grow. One afternoon, news spread through the school that Mr. Dawson, Liam's elderly neighbor and mentor, had been taken to the hospital after collapsing in his home. Liam's heart dropped. He ran the 2 blocks to the hospital, ignoring the ache in his legs. When he reached the waiting area, he saw nurses moving quickly and his mother speaking with a doctor. "Is he okay?" Liam gasped. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder. "He's stable, but he'll need rest and support." Visiting hours had ended, but the nurse saw Liam's panic and let him in for a moment. The room was dim, machines humming softly. Mr. Dawson lay with his eyes closed. Pale but breathing steadily, Liam approached the bed quietly. His throat tightened. "You're gonna be okay," he whispered. "You have to be. I still need you." The old man opened his eyes slightly, managing a faint smile. "And I still need you to, Liam." Tears welled up, but he blinked them away. Mr. Dawson's voice was weak, but his message was strong. "You remember what strength is," he whispered. Liam nodded, rising. "Even when it's hard." "That's right," the old man said. "But sometimes strength is letting others help you rise." Liam didn't understand fully, not yet, but he held the old man's hand and promised he'd visit every day. And he did. He read to him from his blue notebook entries about Noah, about school, about small victories that felt large. He updated him on his volunteer work. He told him about the puzzle Noah completed without help for the first time. Slowly, day by day, Mr. Dawson grew stronger. One Sunday afternoon, as Liam sat beside him reading, the old man chuckled softly. "Son, you've become someone people look up to. You do know that, don't you?" Liam shook his head. "I'm just trying to be better." "You're doing more than that," Mr. Dawson whispered. "You're showing others how to rise to." The words filled Liam with a warmth deeper than pride, purpose. By the time summer arrived fully, Mr. Dawson was well enough to return home. The community center invited Liam to officially join their summer mentoring program. Teachers at school recommended him for a student leadership workshop, and Noah, now more confident, more willing to ask questions, hugged him on the last day of the program, saying, "You made me brave." That night, as Liam sat on his porch, listening to the soft chorus of evening crickets, he opened his blue notebook to a fresh page. The sky above was deep and endless, sprinkled with stars he used to think were too high to reach. He thought of everything: the pain, the humiliation, the kindness, the forgiveness, the friendships, the fear that shaped him, and the courage that rebuilt him. Then he wrote, "I was not born perfect, I was born to rise." As he closed the notebook, a calm smile stretched across his face. He finally understood. Strength wasn't something you earned once. Strength was something you practiced every day. In kindness, in forgiveness, in courage. In compassion. In choosing who you want to be, one moment at a time. And Liam, he was rising, and he would keep rising, not because he never fell, but because he finally knew he was unstoppable. As August drifted toward September, life in Willowbrook settled into its comforting rhythm. Families prepared for the new school year. Stores set out fresh notebooks and backpacks, and the warm evenings slowly shifted toward cooler breezes. But for Liam, this year felt different, almost like stepping into a new version of himself. He wasn't suddenly fearless. He wasn't suddenly confident, but he was learning to face the world standing tall. A week before school reopened, the community center organized a small event to honor volunteers. Children and parents gathered on the lawn, music played softly, and tables were covered with handmade posters and lemonade cups. When Liam arrived, Noah spotted him instantly and ran over. "Liam, guess what? I can read a whole chapter book now." "That's amazing," Liam said, genuinely proud. "But that's not the best part." Noah held up a slightly crumpled certificate with his name written in bold letters, "Most Improved Reader." He grinned. "This is because of you." Liam felt his throat tighten, not out of sadness, but from the overwhelming realization that he had truly made a difference. A real, tangible difference. Before he could respond, the program coordinator walked up with a microphone. "We want to give a special recognition today," she announced, "to someone who came to us quiet, unsure of himself, but proved that kindness is the strongest force in any community." Liam's heart skipped. He wasn't used to being seen this way. "Please come forward, Liam Carter." People clapped. Not politely, not out of obligation. Children he had helped waved at him. Parents nodded with grateful smiles. As he stepped forward, he noticed someone standing at the back of the crowd, leaning on his cane, wearing a proud smile. "Mr. Dawson." Tears stung Liam's eyes, but he blinked them away and accepted the certificate. It wasn't fancy, just cardstock with ink and a gold sticker in the corner. But to him, it felt heavier than any trophy, heavier because it represented something real. Not winning, not being the best, but rising. When the event ended and families began to disperse, Liam made his way to Mr. Dawson. "You walked all the way here?" Liam asked. The old man chuckled. "I may be old, but pride can push a man farther than you think." He studied Liam for a moment, eyes warm. "You've grown more this year than most people do in 10. Liam looked down. "I had help. Everyone does," Mr. Dawson said, "but not everyone chooses to use that help to lift others." The words stayed with him long after the crowd faded and the music quieted. That night, something unexpected happened. There was a knock at the door. When Liam opened it, Jack, the boy who once humiliated him, stood on the porch, holding a notebook. "Hey," Jack said awkwardly. "I wrote something. It's for you." Liam took the notebook and skimmed the page. It wasn't perfect. Some words were crossed out. Some sentences felt hesitant. But the message was clear. "I'm sorry for who I was. I want to be better. And you helped me realize that strength looks different than I thought." Jack shuffled his feet. "I was a jerk. I know that, but when you forgave me, I don't know. It made me want to change." Liam closed the notebook gently. "I'm glad you did." Jack smiled, a genuine, relieved smile. "I'm trying. If you ever want to hang out or something, I'd like that." Liam nodded. "Yeah, I'd like that." It wasn't friendship yet, but it was a beginning, and beginnings were something Liam was learning to appreciate. When school started again on the first day back, Liam wasn't the same boy who once hid behind lockers and flinched at whispers. He walked through the doors with a calm confidence, quiet, steady, real. Students greeted him. Teachers smiled at him. Even kids he barely knew nodded in respect. In English class, the teacher introduced a new project: create a speech titled "What Strength Means to Me." A ripple of nerves went through the room, but Liam felt something else, a spark. That afternoon, he sat on his porch with his blue notebook open and wrote the first line. "Strength is not loud. Strength is not perfect. Strength is choosing to rise even when falling feels easier." Words flowed like water, honest and unfiltered. He wrote about the video, about the shame, about forgiveness, about fear, about kindness, about finding purpose through struggle, about Noah, about Maya, about Mr. Dawson, about himself. When presentation day arrived, Liam's heart pounded, but this time, he wasn't afraid of the fear. He had learned to carry it with him, not run from it. Standing at the front of the class, he took a breath and began reading. He stuttered once, then twice. But every time he stumbled, he kept going. Every student in the room listened, really listened, not with pity, not with amusement, with respect. When he finished, silence held the room for a heartbeat, and then the entire class erupted into applause. Not because he had spoken perfectly, but because he had spoken bravely. His teacher's eyes shone with pride. "Liam," she said, "this is one of the best speeches I've ever heard." After school, Maya caught up to him outside. "You were amazing," she said. Liam shook his head. "I was just honest." "Exactly," she replied. "People forget honesty takes courage." He didn't know what to say, so he simply smiled, genuine, warm, deeply grateful. A new purpose. Weeks later, Liam was invited to speak at a district event about bullying and resilience. He hesitated, afraid of being overwhelmed. But Mr. Dawson told him, "Your voice might tremble, son, but it will reach hearts that need it. That's what matters." So he agreed. The auditorium was large, filled with students, parents, teachers. Liam walked onto the stage, knees trembling, but he carried his notebook, the same one that had guided him through darkness, and read from it with as much heart as he could. This time, he didn't just read for himself, he read for Noah, for kids like him, for anyone who had ever felt small. When he finished, a quiet, emotional hush filled the room, followed by heartfelt applause that echoed like hope. A mother approached him afterward, tears in her eyes. "My daughter struggles with stuttering too. She felt so alone until she heard you." Liam knelt to the little girl and whispered gently, "You're stronger than you know." The girl nodded, slowly smiling, and at that moment, Liam understood something deep, something life-changing. His pain had found a purpose. He wasn't just rising anymore. He was helping others rise with him. And that, more than applause, more than certificates, was the true meaning of unstoppable strength.